and get ready to, of course, speak first about Next in Business, and then there will be many more sessions as well. But before I begin our first session, I want to just quickly take a moment to thank those without whom today's event wouldn't have been possible. Our partners, beginning with sponsors, Adani, SPS Construction India Private Limited, session partners, ACE Group, Bhutani, BLS, Granules, Insurance Dekho, M3M, Molbio, Niramai, NSE, SPS Realty, Tourism Finance Corporation of India, Trident, NTPC, Bhago Mobility, and HNS. State partners, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, Rajasthan, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh. Institutional partners, Delhi Tourism and Transportation Development Corporation, International Film Festival Delhi, American Jewish Committee. Realty partner, Green Circle Homes, Ambala. And with that, let's turn now to Next in Business, our first segment for Day 3 at NXT 2026. And for the first keynote address this morning, I want to quickly call on stage member of the Bundestag, Germany, who's with us to speak about strategic raw material security. Let's please have a round of applause for Dr. Malte Kaufmann. It's the morning. Let's show them some energy. Let's get the stage going. And let's, of course, get the audience invigorated as well. Dr. Kaufmann, over to you.
Well, thank you so much for the invite to this wonderful conference. And it's a delight to see so many young people also in the audience this morning. And we had a great conference so far with many side events and many interactions. So this is really helpful also for me to listen to many of you speak and your points of view on different issues. But today we want to talk about policy making in the business area. Myself, I'm a member of Parliament in Germany, a member of the Committee on Economic Affairs and Energy. And I would like to point out a few things that policymakers should pay attention to as to create an environment where businesses can thrive and where prosperity is guaranteed. And I remember very well on the first day we had a keynote address from the Deputy Speaker of Bhutan and Mr. Khandu, and he talked about happiness, how important it is to have happiness in our lives. And us as policymakers, we want also our societies, our businesses to be prosperous. We want to hand over a country to the next generation of young people where it's worthwhile living and have good business environments. Well, in a time of global disruptions like wars or pandemics, we have the Iran war now, for instance. Our goal is to create policies that help us to have security and stability and peace. And what can we do about this to enhance these issues? I think the first proposal I want to make is we need more trade agreements. We need more deals, as President Trump from the United States would put it. And I'm very glad that India and the EU has negotiated now a free trade agreement for the past 20 years. It was negotiated, now it needs to be implemented. And such a free trade agreement combined with an investment protection agreement will benefit both of our countries and areas of operation. India, with a large society of 1.4 billion people, and the EU market combined represent about 20% of the world's population. So it's very important for us to have trade between our two blocks between these two countries. And then, of course, we have to open up to many other areas, many other world areas, and I think India is doing a tremendous job with BRICS, looking to enhance business relations with many, many other relevant countries. So trade agreements, deals, it's important to ratify them and put them into implementation. Second one is we need more investments in each other's countries. And I'm glad that Germany has about 2,000 companies already in India doing business, and India has 700 countries, 700 businesses in Germany doing their work there. And we just need to go on forward with this. I think this is very important to have more reciprocal investments in both countries. Then the third one, I would like to suggest more diversification of resources. I come from the energy field, and I remember very well about 2 years ago we went with a delegation to India, to New Delhi, when India was responsible for the G20, heading the G20, and we talked about energy diversification. And I think it's very important that on the one hand we think about renewable energy, but on the other hand we should not make the big mistake to get out of all the other energy resources at the same time. I think India is doing a very good job also looking into nuclear energy. I learned that you want to double the nuclear energy in the next 15 years. And I think this is a very good example of diversification. And also fossil fuels, I think, is still needed in the world today, oil and gas, and at the same time looking for new opportunities, new investments, but not only doing the one and then neglecting the other. So diversification in resources, but also in sources. We should look at different parts of the world where we can have our supply chains being implemented. We have in Germany the big problem that in some areas of raw materials, we are dependent on only 1 or 2 countries, like in different seldom materials that are used for technology. We rely heavily on China and Taiwan, semiconductors, for instance. And I think this is a situation where we have to think about looking for more sources and making more deals and investments, so if there is a disruption in the supply chain, we still can get the material that we need. So after trade agreements and investments and diversification, a fourth issue that I would like to propose is we need to expand our relations. Economic relations with India are crucial. India is such a thriving nation and country, and I was really impressed yesterday by Modi's address, and it showed me that you have big aspirations, and also your space program is very, very amazing. You are an amazing country, and I learned also that each month there are 1 million young people getting into the labor force. 1 million young people each month. So I think it's very important that we expand our relations, learn from each other, and young people usually have great ideas. And this is also what this conference is about, the next ideas in AI, in artificial intelligence, in technologies, but also in health. I think it was also very important that part of this conference was dealing with health issues. So learning from each other. Germany, for instance, is very good in medicine, pharmaceutical field, and but also IT services, research and development. There are opportunities for greater cooperation, greater value creation, and more common standards in all of these areas. Expanding relations also means more conferences like this. I think this is very important that we have these panels with just diverse points of view, and then we can learn from each other and get some beneficial and new ideas for our own work. And I hope everyone here profits also from these panels. And when I'm talking about expanding relations, that also means students exchanges. In Germany, we have very renowned universities. My constituency is Heidelberg, one of the oldest universities in Europe, and I'm sure that it's also in our interest to have even more student and scientific exchange with India and with many other countries. So, coming to a close, peace and stability are the foundation for a prosperous economy and society in Europe, in India, and in any other region of the world. If we strengthen this foundation together, we will create space for innovation and cooperation, predictability for businesses and investments to the benefit of both sides, for prosperity, for a higher standard of living. And this is what our goal is as politicians, to create a higher standard of living for societies, for our countries, in short, for the good of our citizens. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to the panel later.